And we're now delighted to be joined in studio by Dr. Saul Lizerbram, the president of the Jewish National Fund USA, who is here in Israel on a special mission to promote the World Zionist Village, which is being planned to be built in the Negev region, and so much more that this organization is doing. Thank you and welcome to the show, and it's nice to see you.
Yeah, thanhanks for having me.
So it's a pleasure, and you guys, JNF-USA does a lot of spectacular work. I myself have had the pleasure of doing some reports on some of the projects that you're doing. Tell us, for our viewers that don't know about it, what is unique and special about the JNF-USA and its mission?
JNF-USA is unique in the fact that it's really a lay leader operation. We like to call them ambassadors, who are volunteers. Now, of course, we have professional staff, but we have hundreds of ambassadors that really do the heavy lifting. And they come over to Israel and they meet with the people on the street of Beersheba or Kiryat Shemona, and they ask them, what do you need here?
Wow.
So we're not in the halls of the Knesset. We're on the ground, we're on the street. We ask them, what do you need? It could be parks, it could be resilience centers, it could be hospitals. What do you need in your community? We go back, those volunteers go back, put together a plan, then raise the money and start to build.
Wow, it's incredible. And so tell us about the project, that the World Zionist Village in the Negev. This is one of the, I imagine, one of the grand initiatives that you're doing. It's not easy to pull off. Tell us about it and what the plans are.
It's the grandest of initiatives. It's a $350 million project. We just announced a few weeks ago that we accomplished something that's never been done before. We've raised $1 billion for Israel.
Wow.
$1 billion. So this is a $350 million project. It's going to be a village to attract people to have a conversation from around the world. And it'll be high school students from our Alexander Muss High School in Israel. Mm-hmm. It'll be college students. It'll be postgraduate students. It'll be adults that'll come in all on the same campus having a conversation about Zionism with professional lectures and be able to carry on Abraham's vision.
Right, of course. So is this going to be also like a full-time location for, like, will it be a new university that people will be there full-time, or it's going to be a place for everybody, thought leaders and people to come and really have a place to converge, you know, where everybody had a dream of the Negev being something.
Right. No, it's not a university. It's a facility. It's a village for people to come together. Mm-hmm. But there will be educational programs that will be held there, and people from around the world will be able to come and understand what is Zionism, to make sure that the next generation, the next 50 years, 100 years, understands what Zionism is. Which
is actually a very interesting thing to mention, is that we're really at a critical juncture right now within Judaism and within the diaspora, because we know what Zionism meant for so long, and now with everything that's happening in the world, it's like a word that is used with a political narrative that has to do a lot with the politics and the what's happening here in the Middle East. So maybe explain more of that to what is Zionism really, and what was it founded upon, not as a political narrative that it's used today in certain circles of people that don't want to say nice things about Israel.
Zionism is not a bad word. It's a good word. And, originally Zionism was for the Jewish people from around the world to find a country, a land for the Jewish people. Now it's changed. Now it's about building what we have, expanding what we have, and even security. But it's the generation now needs to understand, we grew up knowing that there's an Israel, but our ancestors did not. They were starving for an Israel. So we need to keep the word Zionism current. And it's not about finding a land, it's about prospering in a land.
Mm-hmm. And that not being a bad thing.
It is not a bad thing, and it's not a political term. Mm-hmm. Zionism is the love and the growth of Israel.
Of course. Also, when we're talking about the next generations, like you said, the people that are growing up now, they know of Israel being here since they were born. This was not the case when you look at, my grandparents and, where they've lived through, the end part of that dream that was hundreds of years old of a dream of having a land of Israel. How do we get to the young people today, especially in places like the U.S. where, there's a lot of wokeness, there's a lot of, very liberalism that it's like, okay, we're Jews, but we're not Zionists, or, we're not supporting what Israel does. How do we help also educate that demographic of people that we're losing?
Yeah, you bring up a great point. And I will tell you that we're proud to say that at Jewish National Fund USA, the fastest growing demographic we have is 22 to 40 years old. The
That's
fastest
very
growing.
comforting.
So, and the part of that is that we invite them to be decision makers. And we're raising over $100 million a year, but they're decision makers within the organization. They sit on the national board, they sit on the regional boards, they make decisions. We're making sure that our future leadership understands Zionism, and they're part of it. So you really need to embrace them. They can't be left on the side. They can't have, everybody around the table can't have gray hair. No pun intended. We really need those young people, and we have them, and they're great leaders in the making.
Thank you so much for your insight. It's really a pleasure to meet you in person, and keep up the good work.
Well, thanks for having me.
By 24. Much appreciated.